It's being part of the community, it's meeting people, and then it's the obvious, you know, there's people who need help, and I'm getting to see that part of it, and it's just a pleasure when I do have those answers for somebody.
GBLA relies quite a bit on pro bono. They get specific funding for that, and so that's a component of what they have. But in addition to that, I have the time. I like to stay involved in law. I like to do something that is productive, and that's one way of doing it.
I feel that people who have had advantages have an obligation to give back, and it's a little way that I can do that.
Well, I do pro bono mostly because I enjoy working with the clients. I've had a number of pro bono clients through GBLA since we started our program, and it's been a pleasure to work with ordinary people who've got difficult legal problems and who need someone to help them get through it.
I provide pro bono services because I believe that it's important to give back to the community, and I also have the time and the desire to assist those who are in a lesser position and unable to provide themselves with legal services through the funds that they have available to them.
I do pro bono because I really enjoy doing public service. I grew up in Monterey County, and one of the requirements we had as a student was to do community service. We had to do it in order to graduate. So I think from a young age it was instilled in me that I should be doing something to better the community that I live in. And right now I have the ability to volunteer here at GBLA because I'm not working full-time. And I have skills in family law that the coordinator Yinka told me that they didn't have anybody offering any services here for. So I decided to volunteer so that I could feel like I was contributing to my community and doing something that really offers people a resource that they didn't have before.
I felt it was my time to give back. I've been practicing about 30 years, and it was that time in my life where I needed to give back to my profession and the community.
I was a Superior Court judge and retired, and upon retirement I decided I didn't want to be inactive, and so I wanted to find something to do that would be meaningful and yet satisfying. And so one of the first things I did, I volunteered over at St. Vincent de Paul. That's a institution that provides breakfast and lunch for anybody that walks in, and also a facility they can spend the day there. And so I offered to volunteer in the kitchen at St. Vincent de Paul, and that was my first adventure, and I'm still doing that. But after a little while of washing dishes and sweeping floors, I thought that I had an education that I ought to utilize. And so I started looking for something where I could utilize the experience that I've had as a lawyer and as a judge. And what fell into my lap is Greater Bakersfield Legal Assistance, which offered the opportunity to do some pro bono work.
I do pro bono first and foremost because I regard it as a professional responsibility. I went to law school in the late 60s, became a lawyer in 1970, and was taught and have always felt that it's one of the responsibilities we have as attorneys to give back and to do what we can to assure equal access to justice.